What's up? What's up? How is everybody doing on this beautiful Tuesday? Hope y'all can hear me out there. Yeah, I'm just tapping in, man. Just tapping in with the family, seeing how everybody doing, man. Seeing that everybody have a good day and did you make it through the work day? I did. Yes, sir. I woke up this morning feeling like I feel every morning, not wanting to go to work. But guess what? I got up, put my pants on, put my shirt on, washed my face, brushed my teeth, and headed out the door to work and got there on time and did about 10 hours and came on home. Now I am here with you all. So yeah, man, y'all tap in with me. Tap in with me. I did a live on yesterday and I forgot. I kind of forgot to check my microphone. You see, I'm wearing my little mic. This the mic my son bought me. He said, "Dad, you want to do YouTube? You need a mic so the people can hear you." So I end up uh, connecting the mic, but I didn't check to. Well, I plugged in the little device that go into where you plug the charger at. I plugged it in, but I didn't check to see if it was actually on. So today I went to the actual app, did my microphone checks about 5 times, and I hope that y'all can hear me today because yesterday I talked for about 30 minutes on the subject of about uh, Obama saying that our kids need a LGBT mentor, so to speak. He came on to his wife's podcast as a guest, and they was having a discussion about what boys need concerning fatherhood and guidance and mentorship and things of those natures. And I was saying on yesterday that Obama really can't speak on what young men or young boys need uh, because he didn't raise boys. He raised two daughters, allegedly. So him and Michelle and her brother was having a discussion about their upbringing, and they talked a lot about uh, Michelle's dad and uh, how Obama kind of resembled their dad in a lot of ways, his mannerisms and just his attitude overall. And as the interview went on, they get to the part close toward about the end of the interview, and Obama made a statement about having a gay professor, I guess when he was in college, and how that professor was very important to him, and how that professor would correct him when he said things that was ignorant. And he made a statement about that's what uh, young boys need. They need that. And so my response to that is no, that's not what young boys need. Young boys need to see a strong man, whether it be a father, a uncle, a granddad, or just a man in the community. They need to see a man's man. They don't need to see a man that resembles a man, but then on the other end of that, he acts like a woman. Young boys don't need to see that because young boys, especially young black boys, they fight with so much already. So they don't need to be more confused than what they already is. So uh The Obamas never raised boys; they raised daughters, as I said before. And so I felt like that was a dog whistle that he was throwing out, signaling that it's okay uh, for young boys to entertain or be entertained by uh, gay males, and that's not what we're going to be doing here. We're not doing that, Obama. You've already done enough for the LGBT community with the laws and that you passed. And I'm not hating on that. I have no problem with grown adults marrying who they want to marry, having sex with who they want to have sex with. Just don't be trying to influence our children to be those things. That's what I have a problem with. Don't encourage our young boys to go that route. Because me being a father, I raised 5 boys, and I tried to be the best example to my boys that I could be for them, from them seeing me being a strong man, from them seeing me be an independent man, from them seeing me get up and go to work every day, uh, from them seeing me paying bills. They never came home and can say the lights was out, because me and their mom made sure that the lights stayed on. We made sure that they always had food to eat. We made sure that they always had clean clothes and up to date clothes and shoes as much as we could. So, with that being said, our boys don't need mentorship from uh, a LGBT guy. Now, if our boys are being mentored and the person just so happened to be LGBT, that's fine. But the way Obama put it out there saying that's what they need, no, that's not what they need. Our boys need to see a man's man. And one thing about today's society, I notice, especially when it concerns us as black men, uh, they always want to see or they want to uh, infeminize the black man. Whether you look at the movies, from the actors putting on dresses, from the athletes coming to the games, and they walking the runway in some of the most oddest clothing, and they're calling it fashion. So they're kind of watering down to our young boys what a man is, and what a man should be, and what a man look like. Uh, I have a problem with that because when you begin to feminize uh, manhood, then you begin to take away the backbone of the quote unquote nuclear family. Uh, God created man and he created woman. Woman is from the man, and the man is in charge, so to speak. Not that he runs over the woman or he dominates the woman or he mistreats the woman, but God has put more the responsibility on the man because he's the stronger vessel. He called a woman the weaker vessel. So, with that being said, uh, our young boys need to see men that are consistent in their lives. For those of you that are fathers out there, if you tell your sons and daughters, I'm not leaving out the daughters, but we're specifically speaking on the young boys because this is what the Obamas was talking about. So we're not excluding the young girls, but we're just specifically speaking on the young boys because this was what the Obamas were speaking on specifically when they did their podcast the other day. They were talking about what young boys need. So that's why I'm putting so much emphasis on the young boys. But anyway, the young boys need to see uh, consistency. They need to see uh, men that get up and go to work, men that take care of their families. They need to see a man who keeps his word. We used to say in the streets, my word is my bond, and my bond is my word. So if you tell your son or your nephew or your grandson, man, that you're gonna do something, then you have to keep your word, because it's so much out here in today's society that's tugging at our young boys, trying to pull them right, trying to pull them left. They have so much gravitational pull or pulling at them. And even now, we're getting ready to go back to school in certain parts of Florida, and we know that uh, that first month of school is very important for young boys and girls, because when they return to school, everybody's watching to see who got on the latest name brand this, the latest name brand that, what kind of pants you rocking, what kind of shoes you rocking. Uh, the girls got to deal with the hairstyles and things of that nature. So that first month of school is very important, for our children. And just speaking, specifically on the boys, the boys, uh, they have to deal with so much, man, from trying to see what girl want to talk to them, or what girl like them, or who they can try to talk to, and rejection and things of that nature. So fathers, we have to show our boys the right way. We can't uh, sit around and uh, discourage them. We can't sit around and down them when they make a mistake. We gotta build them up. We gotta be builders. God called us to be uh builders. We gotta build our boys and daughters up. But speaking specifically to the boys, but we gotta build our boys up. We gotta teach them, you know, how to put on a belt. You know, make sure they got on a belt. A lot of times our boys, they go out in society looking any kind of way, and that becomes a reflection of you, Dad. That becomes a reflection of you. I know that we can't be everywhere with our young men, but if we teach certain values in the home, then I believe they'll carry these values out in society. Like for instance, me being a dad who helped raise 6 boys with their mom, uh, I would teach my boys how to pray. Teach my boys, you know, how to deal with certain situations that they may be faced with. I wasn't a best dad. I wasn't perfect, but I always tried to be consistent. I always tried to let them know that I'm here for you, whatever you need. If you want to just sit down and have a discussion about something, I'm always here as a listening ear, and we can get through this together. So yes, our boys need mentorship, but they need the right type of mentorship. We just can't let anybody get in our boys' ear gates. We can't let any male figure or woman get in our boys' ear gates, because we got a lot of wolves in sheep clothing out here. And like I say again, I believe the Obamas was dog whistling. I don't know what kind of foolishness they got going on, but I truly believe, man, that uh, the enemy is after our boys. They always have been. Even if you go back to the biblical days, where the kings or the rulers would always come after the male child, because they knew that male child was very significant. They knew that male child could one day raise up and be something great. So the those rulers would come after those young boys, even as they came after the male child, Jesus, or y'all may say Yeshua, however you want to phrase it. But the enemy always fights against the male child, because that male child is the seed bearer. He carries the seed. The woman, she houses that seed that the man inserts into her. Without that man, you cannot have no children. And so they want to try to turn all these males into females. What would the world look like with a bunch of females and no male? Well, life as we know will not exist properly as it should. You will begin to see the population die off. You need men in society. You need men to continue the population of society. Without the man, you won't have a society. As well as with the woman. But I'm just speaking on manhood, far as raising these young boys, and how society wants to turn our young boys into girls, and they also want to turn the girls into boys. See, everything the enemy does, he does it opposite of what God does. So we have to be mindful, man, and we can't be ignorant of the devil's devices, man. And so with that being said, fathers, if you're not in your son's lives or your children's life, get in their life, man. Go back and make it right. And for you mothers that hinder the relationship between the father and his children, cut it out, man. You don't know how important it is for that young boy to see his dad at a PTA meeting. Mothers, you don't know how important it is for that young boy to see his father at a football game or a baseball game. I can remember, man, seeing my sons and them look up at me at their games, man, and just knowing that I'm there. And me being a proud dad, man, I look forward to those Saturday mornings where I could wake my kids up, man, get them ready for the football games or their baseball games, man, and take them to the game, man, and sit out there, man, and cheer for them all day along with the other parents and things of that nature. And unfortunately, it used to be some of my kids' friends whose dad wasn't there, and they used to have this look on their face like, dang, Mr. Larry, I wish you was my dad. And so I began to take on the responsibility as being some of these kids' neighborhood dads that didn't have biological fathers involved in their lives. For some reason, when relationships end, the father go his way, the mother 9 times out of 10 she take the children with her, and so the mother can sometimes be difficult to deal with, and you have men out here that don't have time or the patience to want to deal with that. But like I was saying on yesterday, I fought with my son's mother from the time he was born all the way until the time he graduated. Me and her had ended our relationship, and I moved on, got married, and this woman, in my opinion, was very bitter and hostile. And so she came after me 6 months after my son was born. She came after me with child support. Now, mind you, our relationship was so different and not really unique, but at the time, I guess she was in a union at the time, and the law in Florida prevented her from even getting child support because the law in Florida considered her union and the person she was connected to be the dad. But I knew I was the biological father, so therefore I wasn't just gonna run off and let somebody else take on my responsibility. So with that being said, man, we was in a court battle for nearly 20 years, man. It ended uh, when my son turned 18. Well, let me back up. It didn't end. It would end when we would go to court and the judge would shoot the petitions down that she was petitioning, and then a year go by, maybe two, and then she'll go back and file again, and we'll be back in court. But like I said, that law always protected me because of the union that she had with her at the time relationship she was involved with. So that law protected me. But I was in my son's life, and then she'll take him away. But I wasn't just gonna be no lay down dad and say F it. And me and you can't say F it too. I know a lot of times you want to just throw in the towel and say, well, I see him when he grown. But that's the wrong thing to do, because you got to think, man, your son growing up in a dog eat dog world, man, and he need that guidance, man. He need that man in his life to steer him in the right direction. And a lot of times these women out here, they think that they could raise boys into being men. And I'm not saying, ladies, that some of y'all single ladies don't do a good job at raising sons, because y'all do. Y'all raise sons to be uh, college grads, lawyers, doctors, some of y'all, NFL players, NBA players. But you don't have to do that if you will allow the father to be involved in the child's life. Uh, Regardless of how y'all may feel about each other, you have to remove yourself out of the way and think about the child. And so a lot of times that's what we have to do, man. We have to move ourselves out the way from feeling how we feel towards that mother for dragging us into court, and say, look, at the end of the day, it's about my shawty, it's about my son, or it's about my daughter. You know, we can't just throw in the towel, man. And I was persistent, man. I was resilient, man. I would take off work, man. I'm talking about I still got the paperwork all the way back from 1999, man, when my son was born in 99 until the time 6 months after that when she started taking me to court, man. I held on to all that paperwork, man. I bought a tote when I moved in this house, and I put all that paperwork, man. I kept that paperwork. I still got it to this day. One day I gotta burn that stuff, man. But I used to have to be on the lookout, because I never knew when this lady was gonna come out with some new tricks, man, and try to come after me for some child support or something. But anyway, getting back to when it kind of ended and started at the same time. My son turned 18, he had then graduated high school, and his mom filed paperwork. Now, mind you, she didn't bother with me from 2015. No, she filed paperwork in 12 and 13. That got shot down. Then she came at me again. And then I ended up moving, buying a house. She didn't know where I live at. Then some kind of way she found out where I work at, sent the paperwork to the job. Now, this woman was persistent. And I wasn't hiding. I wasn't hiding. I just moved. I bought a house. I moved. Me and my wife, we bought a house and we moved. So we moved. And so she found out where I work. She sent the paperwork there. Boom. Fast forward, I got a court date. We go to court. She got a lawyer and everything. And she got the people from not Department Children and Family, but the people from the Child Support Office. I can't think of their name right now, but she had some people in there speaking on her behalf from one of those departments, and they end up awarding her back pay. So, like I say, my son was 18, and then graduated high school, and the judge went back from 2018 all the way to 2014. So I'm gonna dispel that myth that a lot of us have that, oh, they can only go back 2 years. No, it's actually up to the judge's discretion how far they go back. Cause like I say, the judge I had, he went back 4 years on her on her behalf, and so I end up, when I got on back pay child support, I end up owing her like 18,300 some odd dollars, I believe. But you know, I was like, okay, cool, I done kind of like been whooping her in the system for 18 years. So I ain't really tripping. I'm on child support. It is what it is. I'm on back pay rather, not child support. I'm on back pay. So all that money going to her, boom. I go to my son high school graduation, boom. I go to, I go see him up while he in college. He end up going to college. I never once was like, effort, I'm not gonna be, in my son's life. And believe me, you guys, I went through a lot with this. I went through a lot with this lady. Like I say, it was 6 boys that I'm raising, and his mama, was the only one that was trying to drag me through the mud. I don't know if she thought like I had like $1 million, or she just was just that mad that we broke up and I had moved on. But we can laugh about it now because, me and her, we pretty cool. I would like to think we cool. But anyway, I did the 18, I paid her the $18,000 in like 3.5 years. I got off. No, let me back up. She got awarded the 18,000, but that wasn't good enough, fellas. She hired a private attorney to try to drag me back in court, to try to go all the way back to 2006, when she tried to take me to court again. Like I say, I had been going to court, man, a lot, man. I probably went to court with this lady, man, at least about 30 times, man, within the 18-year span, man, about 30 times, no lie, man. But, I had favor over my life, you know what I'm saying? And I wasn't ducking and dodging and running. I was showing up to court. See, fellas, one thing I know, if you don't come to court, then the judge gonna take it upon himself to call you absentee father, and they gonna do what they gonna do. They gonna bam you. He gonna bam you, man. And so that's where we make our mistakes at, fellas, by not going to court. You have to go to court, man. Show that you are involved, dad, or you trying to be involved. But if you not there, then the judge gonna take it upon himself to do what he want to do. But you have to show up to court, regardless of how much you feel is an inconvenience. If you show up to court, man, you just don't know, man, how that helps your argument in your case. You can go to court, man, and you can explain to the judge, or you can bring your statements and let the judge know, look, I work such and such hours, I make this amount, I'm willing to give her this, you know what I'm saying? And the judge going to rule on based on your income as well as her income. So boom, he awarded her with the back pay child support and everything. Like I said, he 18 now, so he ain't even under her roof, but she getting the money. I'm paying her like, I think I was paying her like about $500 a month. We're gonna say $500 a month because it was like $494. $494. So we'll say $500 a month I'm paying her. And I paid it off. And man, when I made that last payment to her, man, it felt so good, man. It felt like I was being released from jail or prison, or it felt like, when you having relations with your girl, man, and you have that release, boom, that explosion, boom, yeah. Man, I posted that thing on Instagram, man. So I said all that to say this, man. Fellas, your kids need you. Your sons need you. And you have to, you have to be in their life, man, regardless of what you and the mama went through, man. How much you may can't stand that woman, man. Do it for your kids, man. Do it for your kids. I'm talking about, like I said, my son, we went through it. I'm talking about, man, from fist fights, man. This lady tried to jump on me, man. This lady came to the church, man, and stabbed my tires, man. This lady was just, she was just wilding, man. But, she was hurt. Hurt people, man. And she definitely was trying to hurt me, man. Man, this woman pulled out an ice pick, man, on me and my partners. And I had bought some brand new tires, man. I never forget it, man. I had done got my Cadillac painted, man. I had a 1981 Cadillac Fleetwood, man. I had them painted that thing cocaine white. I had what color was my? I had the burgundy insides, I think. Man, that thing was clean, man. I had them rims on there with them Vols. And she came to my mama's house. And I was over there, because she would just let my mama get the baby. She would let my mama get my son when he was, he was about 1 or 2 years old. But she wouldn't let me get him, you know what I'm saying? But I went over there to see my son, and she came over there to pick him up. And man, this woman came and and she poked my tires, man, poked 2 of my tires, man, before I could, kind of like run her off a little bit. But yeah, man, so I've been through it, fellas. I know what you might be going through, man, but you have to persevere, man. I did it, man. Like I said, I took off work many a days, man, to go to court, man, because I knew if I don't come to court, man, this judge gonna railroad me, man. I had so many friends, man, talking to me about how much they paying, man, and how the judge railroad them, man, because they didn't show up to court, how their license was being suspended. Child support could just interrupt your whole life, especially when you're trying to get it together and get on your feet, man. So that's why it's so important, man, even in that, to teach your boys, man, not to place their thing in every woman. Every woman ain't worthy of your seed, man. And that's real spill. Every woman ain't worthy of having a child. Like I said, I got about 11 grandkids, man, and although some of my sons ain't listen to me all the way, but they learning now. Sometimes you gotta let them learn. They grown. They ain't under my roof. I told them what the business is growing up. Long as I did my part, they can't say I ain't forewarn them. Now, if you go out there and make the mistakes that you gotta make or you chose to make, then that's on you. But with that being said, man, yeah, man, we can be our kids' mentor, dads. Get in your child life. You know what it takes to get involved with your son. If you got a son and that woman preventing you from seeing your child, go down there and file paperwork. Go to the courthouse like I did. They'll help you out. Or you can Google. Google is your best friend, man. Like I said, our sons need us, man. And we don't need to be taking no advice from idiots like the Obamas telling us that our son need a gay mentor. No, our sons don't need no gay mentor. Our sons need to see consistent men. They need to see manly men. Like I say, I don't have a problem with the LGBTQ community. They grown people. What they do is what they do. Just don't try to come over here and influence my young child to be what you want them to be, because that's not happening. So yeah, man, just encourage y'all fellas, man, to get involved with your child life, man. We got school coming up. They getting ready to go back to school, man. Go to the school, man, and meet their teachers. Go to the school and meet their teachers, man. Go find out, get involved. Find out, how you can assist the teacher this upcoming year, because it's different challenges that these kids gonna face on the first day of school, man. It's so much pressure, man. I remember, man, the first day of school, man, I used to be so excited, man. I used to couldn't sleep, man. I have my outfit laid out, man. I've been tried it on, took it off, re-ironed it again. I iron it, man, and to keep them pants pressed, put them under the mattress and lay that top mattress on top of it to keep them pressed real neat. Cause at that time, you know, we weren't going to the cleaners like that. Mom give you that old heavy iron, man. That iron that got real hot, man. If you ain't careful, you'll burn them pants and leave a brown stain on them. So I know the pressure, man, of these young kids, man, and you know, putting that outfit on, man, and walking out them doors, going to the bus stop, man, and just knowing that, oh, I'm fresh, man. Not only that on the outward appearance, but inwardly too, man, knowing that, you know, my dad done built me up in confidence, man. He got my back. You know, he rooting for me, man. Also, man, Father, pray for your kids. Pray for your kids. It ain't about being no Christian or none of that. Yeah. Pray for your kids, man. Speak some things over their life, man. I remember, man, my kids used to walk out the door, man. I used to pray the blessings of Abraham over their life, man, and just wish them a good day, man, and just, you know, hope they be successful, man, in school, man. And I go out there to the school, and when it was a problem, oh, you best believe I'm going. Their mama ain't have to go because I was going. You know, she had a business at the house, so she couldn't always go. So I would go. You know what I'm saying? I would go to the schools, man, when my sons had an issue or got in trouble. Like I say, I wasn't a perfect parent because none of us is, you know. A lot of us learning as we go along, but you know, we have to make an attempt, man, to be there for our kids, man. So with that being said, man, don't take no advice from nobody that ain't got no kids. How they gonna tell you how to parent your kids when they ain't got no kids? How somebody gonna tell you how to raise boys when they ain't got no boys? You can't get it just by reading a book. No, man, you gotta have a hands-on, everyday life experience. Like I say, man, me and my boys, man, we had a time, man, and our relationship to this day is good with all of them, you know. They grown, and, you know, sometimes I think, because I be bored now because I reflect back on them days like, boy, I remember, man, we used to get out in that backyard, man, and throw that football, man, or we used to get in the pool, man, because we had a pool. My first house we had a pool, man. I taught my boys how to swim, man. I just think about those days, man, when I used to see my boys smile, just being able to see them walk down the sidewalk and they go to the park and they look out for one another. And when I felt like I need to go up here and check on them, I get in the car, ride up to the park and check on them just to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do and they're where they say they're going to be at. It's called accountability. That's another thing, that we got to be accountable for our sons, man. We just can't have our sons out here, man, running around, man, like a chicken with their head cut off, because it's so much temptation. It's so much temptation, man. I was a teenager. Like I said, I didn't grow up with my dad in the house. My dad had moved away, but, you know, he was present, you know, about 70%, 65%. You know, he lived in another city. You know what I'm saying? But I still had males in my life. I had uncles. I had a stepdad. You know, I had big brothers. And then I had OG homies in the neighborhood that I could soak up game from. You know what I'm saying? So I always had pretty much decent males in my life, I would say. You know, they weren't perfect. You know, we did some things in the streets that, you know, that I laugh and talk about that we was not proud of. But hey, you know, it's called part of life. But at the end of the day, man, we grew up and we became productive parts of society. And that's what we trying to do with our boys, man. We trying to grow our boys up to be productive parts of society, man. Like I say, it's a everyday battle, uphill battle, man. Trying to keep our boys, you know, from being pulled from the left to the right. Everything pulling on our boys. And I'm not excluding the girls, but we just speaking specifically on the boys because that's the topic that the Obamas was speaking on, man. So with that being said, man, fathers, get involved with your children, and if you got boys, man, definitely uh, get under those boys, man, and let them know how you came up, man. Don't be scared to share your stories or your testimonies, man. That's why I do certain segments on YouTube. I call them my hood fables, man. And there's some things that my kids finding out about me, man, that they ain't know. It be funny and comical, but it be real spill. You know, it be real because it lets them know that I wasn't always where I'm at now. You know, I wasn't always this person. When I was a teenager, I did some crazy things. I made some crazy decisions. You know what I'm saying? I chose some crazy women in my life. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I do what is called Hood Fables, man. And then if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, man, check me out on at Larry Anderson 6869. That's at Larry Anderson 6869. And you can subscribe to my TikTok channel. That is Fuck the Bag, I Want the Bank. That's Fuck the Bag, I Want the Bank. You know what I'm saying? So check me out on TikTok, man. And with that being said, man, like I say, man, get involved with your children. Don't hesitate, man. If that woman don't want to act right, don't hesitate to go down there to the courthouse. And if you can afford you a lawyer, man, get you a family law lawyer, man, to run you about $2,500, man. Like I said, when she went back to court to try to get more, I went and got me an attorney. But for the whole 18 years, man, God was just giving me favor, man, because he knew that I wasn't in the wrong. All I was trying to do was be in my son's life, and this woman was being rebellious, you know, snatching my son in and out my life, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I had to forgive her for that, man, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, I ended up getting me a lawyer when she tried to go back to 2006 and get more money. I got me a lawyer, man. We went in there and slapped her lawyer around. And I just ended up paying her that $18,000. Now, my son has graduated college, man. He living in a big city down south. Got his own spot, you know, and we have a great relationship. But like I said, me and his mom, we pretty cool, man. When my son graduated college, man, about 3-4 years ago, man, his mom was there. And one of my other sons was there, man. We all went out to eat. I bought all the food, took us out, man. We had a good time. So, yeah, man. It was bitter in the beginning, but, you know, the end is so much sweeter, man. When I was able to see my son walk across that stage, man, and get his degree, man, and now he operating in that field that he took in college, man, and just being a young man out here, making his own decisions, being a young boss, you know, all of my sons really, but you know, I got 2 of them right now that's really locked in, and I got another one that's expiring. You know, I'm gonna say 3. 3 of them, you know, got that business mindset. You know, all of them got it, but it's just